let go of what you know up here so you can just get to your heart and get a direct experience. By that I mean full on seeing, hearing, feeling angels and other loving figures from history. It could be philosophers from Greece or elsewhere. It could be Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha. You also, if you can own the angel part, you can meet your passed over relatives and pets. You got to own the angel part first. And also, let's say you have two sisters, two best friends, you're getting along. If you each own it individually, you can then do it at the same time. So I feel awfully fortunate in terms of the credibility thing. It's a direct experience. All languages are spoken, all dialects. I have photos of angels, a couple fairies, a bunch of different ways, and Plato. Those photos, and it's angels in light energy form, those photos can move and change color. I use historical photos as well, and those historical photos will wink, smile, shoulder waggle, eyebrow goes up like this, and so on. There's a lot of humor. You get any answers to any questions, tons of detail. I mean, and I just did that wide open eye thing, but I mean tons of detail. So if you've got the guts to show up and the guts to put yourself out there and just ask, it's a lot of love. You'll literally get guided for your decision making, for your career, on the health front, which direction to go on this particular topic, relationships, family, how to have more fun. I always joke that the number one question, or I always suggest that the number one question before the pandemic is where to go on vacation. Now, for a lot of folks, the second question, the follow-up one to that, has to be how am I going to pay for it? But what I teach is no limits, and I think you've known this most of your life, perhaps without knowing it. You know it as an athlete when you're in your heart and you let go and you just perform. You could be a dancer, ballet, it could be yoga, baseball, football, running, pool, just playing pool. When you let go and take your shots and you're one with the pool cue and you just know where everything's at, you're in a flow, you run the table. And I'm going to emphasize this at other levels. You take a hot shower, you enjoy it, you get out, you executed everything flawlessly. The shampoo, the conditioner, maybe singing in the shower, you really let go. The light switch on the wall over here, you just hit it and the light goes on. You trust that you know how to hit a light switch. But there are so many other parts of life where we tend to make it into a giant K2 or Mount Everest summit. And it doesn't have to be that complex. In fact, complexity is what thinking is all about. It doesn't matter if you're in the scientific circles, Buddhist circles, near-death experience circles. I tend to mention those crowds the most. But quantum physics, how about that? They're big seekers. We tend to go looking and going these big voyages, these big safaris for truth, or to soul search, look for ourselves, when everything is just right here in the present moment, right now. Watch what happens in the decades to come when scientists start slowing down a little, getting out of what they know. They're going to get it right back. They still have to be a biologist or a chemist or an astrophysicist. But if they can just listen as if they're hitting a light switch on the wall, or they're hitting a baseball back in third grade, and they were good at it, they can get any answers to any questions. That means there are formulas. That means there are scientific discoveries. Now, maybe once in a while they'll get a response like, move on, not right now. But my point is, if you don't take the chance, you don't take the chance. And that's what thinking is about. It's to deny you that opportunity to live, to be in the moment. I'll do it a different way. There's more within you, there's more around you than any of us can possibly fathom. I still do tons of thinking. And I suffer tremendous amounts of rejection all the time for the last 10 or 12 years. But I get plenty of yeses, and I get plenty of inspiration from others just watching them let go. Transact with angels, they get their answers, they get their hugs, they get more comfortable, they start seeing first a little bit of light, maybe up on the ceiling, then out the window in the backyard. It's like having a barbecue with your best friends. Native American chiefs are available, figures from India, Vishnu, Krishna, Ganesh, Lakshmi, Sai Baba, Sri Kaleshwar, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Meher Baba, and a few others. So, if you're from India, you get it in Hindi, you get it in Telugu. There's a certain dialect as well you're used to, or an accent, you get it that way. I don't see the questions or answers. I think the record is 48 pages, 9 hours in Australian. I just checked in every couple hours. I think I went for a run on one of those good gaps. But I do help a person drop to their heart. Now, again, I call it removing the veil because it's kind of easier to think of it that way. You know, you've got passed over loved ones, your pet, you want to see them again, you want to interact with them again. It's an unconditional love, compassionate experience. This whole thing is about a little more gentleness, kindness, love, feeling the support of the universe. I'm going to argue, you know, it's easy for us to think about it this way, that they're standing around you, walking with you in life. That's just an easier way to go. But in a way, angels and your relatives live around you, live within you. It's kind of a dimensional thing. And I wouldn't try to spend too much time grasping it. That's what all these, you know, that's what all of humanity is doing in all of its organizations, is a lot of thinking. If we switch the focus, though, to love, that's the other part of the being human equation. When we're in our heart, we're love. And when we do love, you feel better, everyone else feels better. You have a broader perspective, things tend to make sense. You tend to be more comfortable in your skin and so on. When you're thinking, I mean, thinking cannot be a hug. You can't give thinking to a dog and say, here's my hug. You can't use thinking to think about a hug for a relative. You just have to give them a hug. And that applies for everything up and down the scale in life. Something, you know, today, a lot of events, a lot of violence, a lot of judging is going on, and we could certainly use a lot more people running around practicing a little bit of kindness, a little bit of compassion, a little bit of self-love first, so you can do great love for others. And I love what an angel named Dale said about sharing kindness, love, just a wave, an acknowledgement, a hello to a complete stranger as you go out and about in society and on your way in life. That sort of thing can go a long way. You never know how you're going to impact someone when you get a chance just to wish them well. Maybe you rush over to open up the door for them and then wish them well. Or just a little wave at a stop sign to another car. It's not a busy intersection, not suggesting anything too crazy here, but just a complete wave to a stranger. So the universe is far bigger than we realize. You can meet angels, figures from India, Native American chiefs, your relatives. You can meet a couple light beings, a few light beings, maybe 3 or 4. Fairies exist, and some other figures, all unconditional love. You can meet your spirit guides in terms of some of the animals, some of the spirit guides, whether it's Plato, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Socrates. You can meet the figure out of Peaceful Warrior who played Sock, the gas station attendant. I'll leave those details alone. But so to plug Dan Millman real fast, fantastic author, fantastic instructor, been doing this a long time. He's probably helped millions by now. Go grab his book, Peaceful Warrior, Way of the Peaceful Warrior, in book form. The movie's from 2006. It's Peaceful Warrior with Nick Nolte, Amy Smart, Scott Mechlowitz. What a fantastic gymnastics movie. It's like an adult Karate Kid, wipe on, wipe off. But the Mr. Miyagi figure is Nick Nolte as a gas station attendant. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful metaphor about living your life. Life's not a routine. Live it. Get out of what you know. Get to hear and be surprised by the universe what comes next. Everything is always growth and expansion. Everything is already constantly love around you and within you. The only question is, how often will you slow down to actually allow for you to get into your heart and go gentler, kinder, and out of all the stress, all the reacting that we do, all the worry, all the fear, all the knowing. And I'm going to go back to knowing for a second. All the knowing in the world doesn't help any of us. I'm talking about the knowing that's not necessarily accurate, the knowing that precludes possibility. Now, scientists do it all the time, and a week later they find out someone else discovered something that kind of, relegated what they discovered to the junk heap. So that's the type of knowing I'm talking about. It's the knowing that would allow you to stay up here and prevent you from going down here. You know too much. You get in your own way. So the second you let go, the second you allow, is when all of this happens, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of healing to be had too, including, I know at least 3 colorblind people have seen colors. This is all about allow, ask, and receive. So Michael Andre Ford, San Antonio, Texas, your angel intuitive. Till next time. Thank you.